Hey, pretty good. All right, that was my sixth grade impersonation of y'all on these meetings and when I see you in the classroom, hopefully soon. All right, we are moving on to 3.1 Geography of Mesopotamia, Explore, page 4. Here are the questions we're going to be looking at today. How was the flooding of the Tigris and the Euphrates rivers both beneficial or helpful and detrimental or damaging to the Mesopotamians? How did the Mesopotamians control the flooding that happened? What is it called when you control a flood? You may have to go back to page 3, explore page 3, or listen to it again to help you guys understand these questions. But again, we're here, email us, and here we go. Controlling the floods. How do the Mesopotamians control their floods? Think about where you live. Are there mountains or rivers? We have some rivers. Is there an ocean? We have lakes. How do you use the water, trees, and other natural resources there? When the Mesopotamians first settled in the valley between the Euphrates and Tigris rivers, they could not farm successfully. They did not have a steady supply of water. It was impossible to grow enough crops to feed large cities. The people needed to control the water that was in the rivers. They did this through irrigation systems. The Tigris and Euphrates rivers flooded every spring. This brought benefits and problems. The floodwaters brought fertile silt to the land, but even with their rich soil, it was difficult to farm. Mesopotamians could not tell ahead of time when the floods would occur. They also could not tell how high the floodwaters would reach. The flow was difficult to guess. Sometimes it washed away crops, sometimes it changed courses. Next paragraph. The Mesopotamians developed new methods to control the floods and bring water to crops. They built up high walls of earth near the sides of the river. These are called levees and dikes. These walls of earth kept water from flooding over the banks of the river. The Mesopotamians also built a system of canals and ditches. A lot of hard work. This system would drain off the high water, helping to prevent flooding. These advances helped to protect these crops, fields, and villages from flood damages. The Mesopotamians also used canals and ditches for the irrigation systems that watered their crops. They built dams and special gates that allow them to raise or lower the water levels in the canals and ditches. This is tough to see, so the video below will help get a visual of how these canals and ditches worked and how they stored the water. So please watch that after this read aloud. Go to Discovery Ed and watch it. Let's keep going. They could also help water out, or they could also keep water out when it was not needed. The dams, canals, and ditches were important advances. Also, with the rich soils left by the flood waters, they helped the Mesopotamians to grow a great deal of food. These advances also allowed the Mesopotamians to extend their settlements without the threats of flood. Now, these advances don't seem significant to you, but think about when I was your age. The advances that we have had allow for us to be learning even in this remote setting. I didn't have laptops and computers. Didn't have a phone until I was 19 years old. So advances for the Mesopotamians allowed them to survive and live, and some of our advances allow us to continue to survive and to learn even in this environment.